Okay.
So folks, the lake has this very much larger northern part and then a smaller southern part, and it's actually here on this southern part that we find most of the ibises roosting and feeding. So the causeway, we've just taken a little bit of a walk with Jackie. We've crossed over the causeway and we've walked all the way up, crossed these boardwalks and past the pump house over here, and at the moment we're actually standing in the car park over there. This part of the lake here has many bird species, but not so many ibises on the northern part of the lake. It's quite useful just to look at that map to actually get an understanding of just where in the lake system you're finding the ibises. You have a look at the writing. It says, importantly, Lake Seppings is a significant place for Noongar people, as it is believed to be the inundated footprints of the Charats, the spirit who created the south coast of Australia. So part of the dreaming and part of those stories. For those of you that might not be familiar with some of the bird species that you might have seen in the video footage, there's some white-faced herons, some great cormorants, darters, little pied cormorants, some coots, musk ducks, blue-billed ducks, hoary-headed grebes, Pacific black duck, purple swan hen, little black cormorant, and the yellow-billed spoonbill. These are just some of the birds, I might add, that we find at the lake. So it's 107 species, remember. It's a fantastic lake for bird species. And when you look at information on bird watching in the southwestern Australia, you'll find Lake Seppings on the list. It's one of the well-known locations for bird watchers. Okay, so folks, we're nearing the end of your tour of Lake Seppings. We're standing over here at the moment. What we're now going to do is we're going to walk through this Melaleuca thicket, this beautiful thicket of very tall Melaleuca trees. It opens up to a more urban area, so there's quite a few houses along here, past the bird hide, which lots of people come to sit quietly to look at birds, and then back to where our vehicle is parked, which is down here, near the causeway that we crossed over. So come and join me for the rest of your tour and enjoy the scenery. So if you have a look, we're in the Melaleuca thickets, and if you actually look up into the sky, you can see these amazing old Melaleuca trees. So it's in the paperbark family, and beautiful old trees that we're walking through at the moment. Here's your bird hide. Here's the history of Lake Seppings. So in 1888 it was declared a botanic garden, and then in 1900 the lake was called Albany Park and was a protected natural wetland. And then, believe it or not, between 1900 and 1970 the lake became a rubbish tip. And then in 72 the Department of Fisheries, that was the name obviously then, and Fauna recommended the lake become a waterfowl reserve. So there were lots of water birds around at that time. And in 73 the Albany Council investigated the possibility of discharging treated sewage into the lake. In the 1980s the Apex Club of Albany started working on the bird walk. And in 2000 the Albany community suggested the lake be protected and restored. And in 2004, the circuit walk trail, which we've been walking, was completed. So that's, in a nutshell, the history of the lake. Very much, I suppose, a typical history associated with an urban lake of this type. So, water level of this lake is very low at the moment. You can see why the city wants to review the use of the water by the golf course because there is